Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha. Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 14th of June 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Paramatma residing in the Hridaya Akash, the heart of every single being. We are continuing to examine this month Ātma-Nivedanam, Bhakti, the ninth form of devotion. As a reminder, the Ātma-Nivedanam is the total relinquishing, surrender, giving up of the mind, buddhi, intellect, the five senses, the physical body, everything at the feet of God. Everything belongs to you, O Lord. Everything is yours. As we said before, it is the path of Thou. Thou art all. This is the dualistic path, and it is a very beautiful path of devotional activation, the activation of devotional energies. This type of approach that is shown in the Bhagavatam to slowly and carefully, sequentially get more and more connected with Paramatma through the mind, because that is the mechanism. This is a great way to bring alignment between the Atman and the Paramatma, because it is misaligned with regards to our causal body. The Karana Sharira, the Sukshma Sharira, they are part of Maya. Because they are part of Maya, there is an apparent disconnection. Actually, there's never really a disconnection from a Tattva point of view, because the Atma Tattva is always connected to Paramatma, in the sense that Parabrahman is the essence of the Atma. So that is in terms of the Vishishtadvaitam. Vishishtadvait, for example, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 23. Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavakaha. Right? This is a very famous verse. A lot of people know this. That the Atma Tattva cannot be destroyed at all. Na enam chindanti shastrani na enam dahati pavakaha na cha enam kledayanti apaha na shoshayati marutaha. What does it mean? This is verse number 23 in chapter number 2, that the Atma Tattva cannot be cut by any weapon. It can never be destroyed. Na enam chindanti shastrani. No weapon of any kind can ever damage the Atma Tattva. The body can be damaged, the mind can be damaged, but not the Atma Tattva. It can never be touched even by any part of Prakriti. See, na enam dahati pavakaha. Pavakaha means fire. So it cannot burn. Dahati means burning. Right? So the fire cannot destroy it, the Atma Tattva. Na cha enam kledayanti. That the water, the moistness, the wetness, doesn't affect it also. The apa, na cha enam kledayanti apaha na shoshayati. It cannot be dried, it cannot be withered, it cannot turn old or anything like that. Na shoshayati marutaha. It cannot be withered, it cannot be affected by the wind. Right? So these are all elements of Prakriti. Earth, water, fire, wind, space, etc. They are all elements of Prakriti that we are experiencing. But the Atma Tattvam, Bhagavan Krishna is saying in chapter 2, verse 23, can never, ever be destroyed, modified in any which way. The Atma Tattvam is the experiencer of the three bodies and the Brahman, the Sansar, etc. That Atma Tattva is Chaitanya, it is Sat, Chit, Ananda. It is our essential nature, it is who we are. So, what is the connection between Ātma-Nivedanam Bhakti and verse 23 of chapter 2? It's a beautiful connection because the Ātma-Nivedanam Bhakti is within the realm of the Antakarana. Antakarana is four parts within us. Mana, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankar. Manas, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankar. That is called Antakarana. Antakarana means internal instrument. Karana means instrument. Process, mechanism. So the bhakti, this bhakti means love. Love for God. Bhagwan ke vishay prem. Sneho bhaktischa madhave. Mahatma Gnan Yug Bhuri Sneho Bhaktischa Madhave. Shikshapatri mein Maharaj kehte hain. Right, this is a beautiful understanding of bhakti. It is sneha. It is the attachment towards God. That attachment towards Paramatma takes us beyond the duality of attachment and detachment within the material world. In the material world, Bhautik Jagat, most human beings are stuck within the pendulum and the polarity, duality of attachment to detachment. So when we rise above attachment and detachment, the mechanism of the mind is infused by all 9 forms of devotion, meaning that the Shakti inside the Antakarana, the Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, all of those energies, they come together into Bhakti, pure love. So the Antakarana is infused with absolute love. When it is infused with absolute love, with the relinquishing of the ego, the ahankar, at the feet of Bhagavan and great saints and bhaktas, when it is relinquished, it is given over. It's called, in Gujarati we say, das na das. Das na das thaine raho satsangma, bhakti bhali manish rachish tena rangma. ये एक भक्त चिंतामणि में ये लिखा है, this line, it's a very famous line in the Swaminarayan Sampradaya. दास ना दास थईने रहो सतसंगमा, bhakti bhali manish rachish tena rangma. That means that God will be dancing with the bhakta, will be with the devotee all the time in that ranga. That ranga, that is, means the color of bhakti in the antakarana. Rachish tena rangma means that there is such an internal ecstasy and joy that erupts in the antakarana. Bhagavan Swayam aate, God himself comes inside the antakarana to bless the devotee and is mixed inside that ranga. This is the extraordinary culmination of bhakti. When bhakti reaches constant, uninterrupted state, ananta prem, all of the deficiencies of the antakarana are removed, completely removed. All of the divisiveness is gone, all of the rag, dvesh, aham, mamatva, shadripu, that's all gone. That has to go. That is a prerequisite. There is no choice about that. Somebody says, no, I'm going to maintain all these faults. Then we cannot actually tap into pure bhakti. It's not possible. They have to go, and they will go. Go meaning they are transformed. काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, मत्सर, आशा, तृष्णा, ईर्ष्या, अहंकार, राग, द्वेष, अहम, ममत्व, छल, कपट, मेरा, तेरा, ये जो सब चलता है संसार में, इससे बाहर निकल जाते हैं. We see the world, interact with the world as needed, but the sansar is filled with all these things only. That's what it is. Of course there's love, affection, good things are there, no doubt about that. But the point is, if we want to actually realize the Paramatma and realize the Atma, then this infusion of bhakti, total infusion, where the antakarana is infused, 100% colored with 9 forms of devotion. There's a beautiful Gujarati bhajan that comes to mind. Tu rangai jane rangama, Sita Ramana satasangma, Radha Krishna na satasangma. There's a you can look it up. It's on YouTube. Hemant Chauhan has. It's a Gujarati bhajan, but it's easy to understand. To get absorbed in the ranga. Ranga means color. So the color of devotion, because devotion with Bhagwan, Bhagvat Murti, colors the antakarana. Then the bhakta reaches a beautiful, connected harmony with Bhagwan. And in doing so, as devotion increases, this breakage happens out of the entanglements of the Jagrat Avastha. The Jagrat Avastha is the waking state. It gets cleaned up. We say in life, don't we say this? Clean up your life. We tell some close friends or others, life is kitna mess up kar diya hai sab life. Clean it up. Okay. We can clean it up. Why not? We clean up the Jagrat Avastha. Keep this in mind. This is the sutra for today. This sutra sab Rishi Parampara diya hai. Sachin is not giving anything to anyone. We can decide that today. Just today. Right now it's 8:23 a.m. on the 14th of June. Starting right now until the end of the day, until the time we go to sleep. Clean it up. Shuddhata rakhni hai. Avastha mein. Avastha mein shuddhata. That I'm awake. In this avastha, the antakarana is going to be pure, steady, clean, not any kind of disturbance inside of it. We can make that determination. That is called nishay in the buddhi. We can decide to make today infused with Navada Bhakti. Yes, a decision has to be made. If we don't make such a decision, we would not be able to sustain Navada Bhakti. It has to be a conviction through Jnana, through understanding that this is worth doing. That I am going to progress, my mind is going to progress into a much more evolved state if and when and how, as I continue, as I develop enhanced connection, or as enhanced connection is developed with Satsanga, through Satsanga with Bhagavan. That's a decision. If that decision is not made, the mind remains wavering, in just jumping in the world, in the material world. And then the day ends, the Jagrat Avastha ends with a lot of mixed experience. And then the Swapna Avastha begins with another set of mixed experiences. And this is how a person lives and dies, and then rebirth. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare shayanam iha sansare bahudustare. Krupaya pare pahi murari bhajagovindam. Bhajagovindam, bhajagovindam, moodhamatesh. Adi Jagat Guru Shankaracharya ji kehte hai. Bhajagovindam Stotra, 36 verses. I still want to cover that at some point. This is the point, right? Moodhamate, he says. Mood means agnan, lack of intelligence. To awaken the intelligence, हमारे बुद्धि में प्रकाश होना चाहिए. In Gujarati we say बुद्धिमा प्रकाश पड़વો જોઈએ. શું આપણે કરીએ છીએ, શું what we are doing in life. Wasting time. भगवान की भक्ति बिना time waste करना नहीं चाहिए. Time is extremely limited. And who knows how much time is left in life? Look at the tragedies going on in the world. And nobody knows how much time anybody has. Every second we have is an opportunity for Navada Bhakti. Yeah, this is our sutra for this month, next month, until end of August. We're just going to be talking about Bhakti. We could spend our whole life talking about it. That's fine. It's good to talk. I was in fact listening to one of the teachings in Ātma-Nivedanam, Gunatitanand Swami. And he says, there's a beautiful statement that they're all fantastic. बहुत अद्भुत शास्त्र है Ātma-Nivedanam. It's in Gujarati. I don't think anybody has done a proper exposition on that. But anyway, one of the points he has made in there is that we can have a lot of conceptual understanding. Lots of talks, lots of analysis. Very good, that's fine. But then what? He says, he gives a beautiful example. You've made 100 dishes of food. Saras બધું ભોજન બનાવ્યું પણ આપણે જમીએ જ નહીં, એનો શું અર્થ છે? We don't eat the food that is made. What is the point? It goes to waste. Similarly, these beautiful ideas that are being discussed, and this is first for this mind. Sachin speaks for this mind. You are listening for your mind. These are two truths. Not Sachin is not telling anything to anybody. It is just an exposition on what already has been. Ye Sanatan Dharma ki baat hai. It's not something new. It is ancient. It is Sanatana. It is eternal. The Atma-Tattva, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. It is not some created Atma-Tattva. Atma-Tattva exists eternally. So, when we are in realization, as we begin to realize that time is limited, life is limited, breathing is limited, और भगवान के साथ अखंड संबंध जोड़ना है. खोली खोली ने खोलियू खरा खपवाड़ा नी खोटरे, निष्कुलानंद जी कहते हैं in Gujarati. He wrote all these beautiful poems. I'm searching, he says, I'm searching. Who has true mumukshutvam? In Gujarati it is called khap. It's an old word. I think it still might be used today. Who has that? Most people are just drowning in the sansar. We don't need to drown in the sansar. We need to float in the sansar. And then the sansar, it will remain as it is. That is not going to change. The billions of people are coming and going. That's the way it is. That is its nature. People say, why the world is like this? It is its nature. We cannot say why it is. Wo maya ka hi ek karya hai. That is the way it is going to be. Millions, that is what its purpose is. For the expression of life and death, life and birth, Durga Devi is in charge of that. Bhavachakra Pravartini, in the Lalita Sahasranam also this name comes. She's in charge of this entire material world. You don't criticize the material world because that is its nature. We have to realize to evolve out of the material world. That is Brahma Vidya. That is what the 700 verses of the Gita are about. And the Bhagavatam is about that also. Srimad Bhagavatam is completely about this evolution out of this material world. Both scriptures. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is 700 verses. Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses. And this 9 forms of devotion is from Srimad Bhagavatam. And it connects beautifully with all of the verses of the Bhagavad Gita because it is the same truth. But Bhagavatam is a charitra of the devotees of God, the incarnations that have come, to 24 incarnations. And the 10th skanda is the charitra of Bhagwan Sri Krishna Paramatma. And particularly in the 10th skanda, it's called the Dasam skanda, the 10th skanda. There are the 5 chapters, Ras Panchadhyay. That is the 5 chapters of the Ras Leela. That is where, that is the heart of the 10th skanda. That's the cream of the cream of the cream. Which is what? That is Prem Lakshana Bhakti. That is what we're going to talk about next month. What that is. So we'll go into Narad Bhakti Sutra, Shandilya Bhakti Sutra, Sneha Gita, written by Nishkulanand Swami. We'll look at these scriptures. At the same time, we'll look at chapter 12 of the Gita, which is Bhakti Yoga, 20 verses. We'll try to pull this together within 1 month and see where that takes us. And then really go into the Ras Panchadhyay verses. And the Gopi Gita are there. They're extraordinarily beautiful, rhymed and poetic songs that the gopis have sung towards Sri Krishna. That is called Gopi Geet. We will try to look at all of that. What a beautiful journey. What is the point in all of this? Iska saransh itna, I will stop with this today. That the love that is already present, purify the love. So prem to hamare mein hai hi already. It's not coming from some outside. It's already there. We already have love. We experience it every day in our life. It just needs to be purified, meaning put it through the filter of 9 forms of devotion. Navadha Bhakti Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Ātma-Nivedanam. This is a filter. It will filter the love that is there. And what comes out on the other side is undisturbed, absolutely pure, and we would even say divine emotion. That is the filtering process. So on the one side, Krodh, Kam, Svad, Sneha, Man, Irsha, all that is filtered out on one side. And on the other side is the presence of absolute pure meaning this word Putaha. Om Putaya Namah. This comes in the Vishnu Sahasranam. That means pure mind. Mind is pure. Atman is of course pure. वो तो आत्मा तो गुणों से बाहर है. So it is divya, from Shuddha to divya. But the purity is the highest level of purity. Not even one particle of ajnan, ignorance, aham, ahankar, not any wave of ahankar is present in the highest stage of devotion. अहंकार टूट जाता है इसमें. निर्माण मोहा जित संग दोषा अध्यात्म नित्य विनिवृत्त काम. There are hundreds of verses in the Gita. And so this is anubhav. We don't want to just talk about this. Talking is good, is necessary. But it's not just about talking. It is about realizing this state. जीवन इसके लिए है. जीवन एक काम क्रोध लोभ के लिए नहीं है. That is going to damage the world. That has already damaged the world tremendously. That is not, and see, the other thing is, one final point before we close, is to not divert from the path. Once we set the destination, and do it one day at a time. Wake up in the morning, we do our morning satsang, and continue throughout the day. Mind is going to be steady, is going to be pure. Stay engaged in one of the 9 forms of devotion. Don't leave that. Whenever there is free time, go back into it. Doing the worldly activities, take the name, one name of the Paramatma at the beginning, one name at the end, minimum. Do the activity, offer the activity to Paramatma. 0 karma is accumulated. That is karma yoga. And so that is also bhakti. And once we do that, we are free. The goal is to be jivan mukta, to be absolutely free, ultimately in the 3 avasthas, Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti. I have actually created in the Gujarati on Vedras. Bhagwan Swaminarayan ka Vedras. बहुत अलौकिक महाशास्त्र है. So those who know Gujarati can listen to that. If you want those links, I'll send them to you. Just, but I'll trying to do that in English also. But it begins with this kind of freedom in the Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. इसमें total freedom. We want 100% freedom in all 3 states. But before we get to dream and deep sleep state, the freedom in the waking state comes through the culmination of Navada Bhakti. Then automatically the waking and the dream and deep sleep state, they transmute. And then that is what chapter 14 of the Gita calls Guna Atitaha Sa Uchchate. Bhagwan Krishna बताते गुणों से बाहर ये जो स्थिति है, गुणों से ऊपर जो स्थिति है, गुणातीत means beyond the 3 gunas of Maya, Sattva, Raja, Tama. ऐसी स्थिति में जाएंगे. That is where the Atma Tattvam is revealed, that I am Brahman, Nija Atmanam, Brahma Rupam, और भगवान का दर्शन और साक्षात्कार इस स्थिति में हो सकता है. ऐसी अलौकिक, this is the kind of divine state that we can potentially evolve through this body. This body is given for this purpose. Gunatitanand Swami ji कहते हैं कि આપણો દેહ 2 વસ્તુ સિદ્ધ કરવા માટે થયો છે. અક્ષર રૂપ થવું અને પુરુષોત્તમમાં જોડાવું. Akshar and Purushottam. These are the 2 points. We are Akshar, Brahman, and Bhagwan Parabrahma is the Supreme Lord. These are the 2 reasons why we are given this body. So let's stop here for now. We'll continue on this tomorrow. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Reva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanyatrambike Gauri Narayani Namostate Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita. Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Swaha. Om Durge Durge Rakshini Tha Tha Swaha. Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Hrim Swaha. Okay, well, with that